invited me about 18 months ago. So Andy wrote a list of questions for scaling. So I did mine a little bit different than anybody in the group. So the first question is, when did you get started? I started in 1992. So in 1992, unbeknown to me, I did the BRRRR strategy. So I got a house from a family member in the Old Southwest off Salem Avenue for a little bit over $12,000. We went in and put windows, roof, air conditioning, and go to Dennis Point. One side of the right foundation had fell out. So at that time, that foundation cost about $4,500 to put back together. So in today's dollar, it'd probably be about $15,000 to answer your question. So I still own that property today, and we just went through and rehabbed the whole house because it's been in my family for about going on 50 years, 2016. So that property, we get ready to get it appraised. It probably appraised about $190, and I only got maybe 45 grand in it. So that property helped me scale to create a little bit over 6 figures in net worth and equity. Because what we did with that property, we lived in it for about 7 years, rent free, saved all my money, invested in stocks, invested in other real estate, invested in, opened up, that property allowed me to open up 3 different businesses. I had a restaurant at one time, I had a convenience store at one time, and I had a janitorial service at one time. All 3 of those businesses, from the janitorial business was doing about $700,000 a year. The convenience store did about $2 million a year, and the restaurant did about $350,000 a year. And it goes back to what Dennis said, it's only so much time in a day. So basically, and I get to this a little bit later. So that's what getting that first property in 1992 allowed me to do. So my second purchase was in 2001. I just bought raw land. And on that land, I actually ended up building, and the property that I built on that is probably worth about $625,000 now. My initial goals when I got into real estate was to start businesses, which I did. I ended up with 3 businesses by the time 2012 hit. I had 3 different LLCs, plus I still had real estate. I didn't grow real estate at the time because I was focusing on building the other 3 businesses. So I sold 1 business, shut 1 down, and I'm selling 1 this week. My whole focus going forward is 100% real estate.
Which one have you sold this week?
My janitorial business. I sold a convenience store. I went back and looked. I sold a convenience store in May of 2019. That was a store on Peter Street that I bought from an independent. It was just called Star Mart. I had a contract with Exxon, which was a 10-year contract. When I bought the store, it probably did about 1.1 million. When I sold it, it was doing 2.1 million.
Is it still there today?
It's still there to today. If you go by the corner of Green Ridge and Peter Street, that Tiger Mart with the little tiger on the gas station, that's the one I sold. The pizza shop I ended up shutting down when the lease was out.
I was just curious, your interest in starting the businesses, was that what your expertise was in, or you thought that was the way of the rat race, so to speak, as opposed to real estate at the time?
At the time, back in '92, and some of the older investors like Andy, Mr. Eric can tell you, when you bought a house in Northwest for $20,000, it didn't go up to $30,000 within 15, 20 years. So my pivot was to build other business and then come back to real estate. But I didn't see this market that we in now because
Nobody did.
Nobody did. So
What were the biggest hassles in running your businesses, or let's say the janitorial and the
employees,
Employees?
stealing, not showing up for work, calling in. I probably lost $100,000 just in theft. From stealing out the convenience store, from stealing merchandise, to giving, I know employees give away stuff free to their friends. And I had a system where I had cameras in both locations, and I could look at it on my phone. So I could pick up my phone at any time, look at the store or the restaurant. They sat down, they eating things. I had one girl that we called the cheesecake baby.
Got it.
Because I'm buying these $70 cheesecakes, and every time she prep cheesecake, 4 or 5 pieces, I always hit the floor. I always hit the floor. And I'm like, okay, you don't do desserts like that. Because you costing me $12 every time you prep cheesecake. So,
What's your background, Tony?
Tony, come on, you just come out here. Does everybody have everything or does anybody need anything? Well, I got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
my background is some Virginia Western. Most of my daughter that came to the meet, and I guess this is why she's a teacher. Back when Books A Million was at Crossroads, every Sunday evening after we settled down, and me and her would go to Books A Million every Sunday from 6 to close every week, and I would get different business books. Millionaire Next Door, The Millionaire Mindset, Charles Gibbons, Creating More Wealth, Thomas Stanley, Think and Grow Rich. So I just spend a lot of my time just educating myself. So,
Who built your house?
structures, out there on
Structures?
Adam Coleman, out there on Starkey Road.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you work with your family?
Always ask questions. Always pair yourself with somebody that's been doing it years before you. When you like the underwriting question, I'm dealing with a lot of underwriters now. Just try to scale up. The criteria is changing every day.
Where do you wanna go with your real estate?
I'm gonna scale high as possible. That's the reason I'm selling the janitorial business. I got 2 projects to do tiny homes. Me and Edward done talked about it. I got the property on Wells Avenue that the city owns. Then I got it's another 3.5 acres off Code Road. So hopefully within the next 2 to 5 years, we can develop those as tiny home communities.
You do that 1 year.
Huh?
1 year.
Okay, one. But the ones on Wells Avenue will be sold, and the projection is they can sell.
Yeah,
I already got it.
awesome.
So, Tony, what would you tell somebody like just first starting out? What would be a way for them to get started?
The way to get started is, I guess I could say I'm mentoring Reach back there. It would be, like Andy told those guys, go to lunch, go to dinner, pick their brain. Right now it's a great time to wholesale. I have, on my desk at home, I have 55 abandoned properties in every neighborhood in Roanoke. And the funny thing about it, now Reach is finding some. Even Tim Hogan don't even have them. So some of the younger guys are finding them, and they anywhere. They're in Southeast, they're in Northwest, they're in Old Southwest. And you just got to do your due diligence in, like the one you found, on finding the person that's related to the person that died. It was one on Fire Hope. I gave it to my daughter. She dropped the ball. The dad died, the mom died, the son died. You just got to find the next of kin. And the people found the aunt. The aunt sold off on him for $37,000. It's a race, huh?
A brick,